What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Washed Up. We got two people already on. Boom, they were ready. I love that. I'm Eric Mika, joined by three people, joined by TJ Haws in his car where he currently lives. He's in the doghouse of all doghouses.
No,
Wifey won't let him back in the house. Defend
that's
yourself.
crazy. That's crazy. This has just
Should
become
we
the
call Lauren
studio.
up? Should we see?
Yeah, we can call her up. We can call her up for sure. But this has become the studio. This is where I don't know. I have my best takes. This is where
Yeesh.
this is where I could do my best work.
Yeah, that's that sounds like a real story. Yeah.
Nice.
Not pathetic at
Nice.
all. We had a couple cancellations last minute today, some travel, some logistics, some basketball practices getting rescheduled. And we went to work and we still found a great guest. Whether he shows up in the next 5 minutes or not, I don't know. It's kind of Russian roulette.
It remains to
BYU
be seen.
basketball.
Is he dead to us if he doesn't show up?
If he doesn't, I don't know. That's a good question for the crowd. Like, if your friend jumps in for when you're in like a pinch, and volunteers their help, but then actually doesn't come through, is it the thought that counts? I don't think it does, honestly.
I think it actually becomes worse than just saying I'm out.
That's true.
I'm
Yeah,
in, but
right.
I'm out. That like just becomes worse. So he might be dead to us.
I think you're right. Well, while we're sitting here waiting for him, the subject we're going to touch on a little bit today. And for you people that are already out here with us, jump in the comments. I'd love to hear who the best 3-point shooter of all time is, in your guys' opinion.
At
TJ,
BYU.
At BYU, yeah. I mean, we know it's LeBron James just for everyone, but at BYU, it's nothing. TJ, no reaction from you.
Well, I was confused that, that was a very confusing statement, but
no, yeah. At BYU, let's see if anyone says anything. TJ, you have an opinion? Are you up there? Are you on the list? I don't think so. Probably not, huh?
I'm not even up there on the list.
Probably top 15.
At least I'm not 0%. Is there anybody here that's 0% from three at BYU?
I don't go around parading like I'm some shooter.
No, yeah, for
TJ's
sure.
TJ's license plate. Show him your license plate. It's shooter.
It's like BYU shooter.
Okay, Christopher Jensen, let's go. He's getting the ball rolling. I love that. Shout out to Chris. I hope I can call you Chris. Jimmer has to be in the conversation, but other guys had higher shooting percentages. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of this discussion. Is it percentage? Is it volume? Is it difficulty level of the shot? I mean, Jimmer is obviously in there for a couple of those things. I don't know, because you mentioned to me earlier, Jake Toolson, he shot like almost 50% from three, and he gets them up too.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think Jimmer has to be talked about. Jake has to be talked about.
Jimmer was more just like pure flash. Like the shots that he had to make were extremely difficult. And, like people are picking him up second he touches the ball. And so the stuff that he's making is like cross, pull back, shot, three, money. And, so yeah, I guess it needs to be defined what we're talking about from a 3-point shooter, because I mean, Jake had games when we were playing that he ended up like 6 for 8 from three, 5 for 7 from three, 6 for 6 from three. I remember at Pacific my senior year, he single-handedly took over the whole game and was just like, he hit like 5 threes, like back to back.
Yeah.
And it was just like ball game. And it was one of
the yapping at him too, which is the best part.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wish we could pull up the clips right now, because he was just chirping at everyone, like in a zone that was just elite. And when Jake's in that type of a zone, it's like nobody can say anything to him.
You know what's funny is that you said that was against Pacific.
Yeah.
So this 2 weekends ago when I was in Colorado, that came up because Damon Stoudemire was the coach at the time. And we were talking, I think I mentioned this last week in our episode when we were talking about like the Marriott Center and playing BYU and blah, 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 because Hubert Davis was like, oh, yeah, we've heard great things and we're excited. Then, look who it is. Mr. Evan Troy in the building.
Great to be here, boys.
Let me finish the story, then we'll intro our beautiful guest here. So Stoudemire actually mentioned that. I hadn't heard this story. I've heard all sorts of Jake stories yapping at the bench, but yeah, he hit like 5 in a row and was yelling at the bench. And Coach Dame was saying that like a bunch of his coaches were trying to like go get him or something. It was like they stood up and they wanted to go get him. But then he was like, no, like when the guy has earned it, like he's smacking us. We can't do anything about it. So that's a pretty incredible story. Real quick, and then I lied. TJ, do you have a guess what Jimmer's shooting percentage in college was?
For 4 years or just for like
for
his senior
3
year?
years? For 3, or was it 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. And do both his career and his senior year.
Oh, man. His senior year, I bet he was like the two numbers that come to mind are 39 and 41.
Okay. Evan?
Senior year, 47.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I have some respect for Jimmer, first off.
I do. 40 is a phenomenal.
39. I can agree with that one, Teach.
For senior year or for overall?
No. Overall was 39.
Okay, you guys are both right on overall. Career 3-point percentage was 39.4. Pretty good guess. Senior year was 39.6.
I wasn't even close. Don't respect Jimmer. Never mind.
No, I mean, that's still crazy though. Like,
So I nailed it though. Both.
Were we saying from 2 and 3, or was that just 3?
No, just 3.
Oh, all right. Well, just put me on here to fail then.
Oh yeah, just pretend you didn't understand. Yeah.
Just don't listen to the question then.
Shooting percentage for Jimmer. That's all you said. You didn't
You're
say
right.
3.
We didn't give you context. That's on us.
Thank you.
All right. 3-point percentage. What is your guess, Ev? Okay, wait. Now, Alex Barcelo, 19 to 20, he shot 48.6% when he showed up at BYU. Then 47 and then 42. That's kind of crazy. He was 7 for 7 against San Francisco, 9 of 10 against Pepperdine. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
And then Jake Toulson, senior year surge, 47%. That's crazy to kind of, because like Alex, there's like a natural decline, right? Like it's the scouting report, like people know. And that's probably why it went from 47, which is absurd, to 42, which is really, really good.
It was also volume too, though. Like he was the focal point of the offense.
100%.
He's Jake and Yoli left.
But then Jake going up like by his senior year is kind of crazy to me, right? Like he got better, and that was probably also, harder shots. So, all right. Anyways, welcome to the show, Mr. Evan Troy. He's taking a break from his nephew's birthday party. We truly appreciate it.
I haven't even got there yet.
He hasn't even gotten there. Evan is a BYU legend. He was a walk-on with both of us, and then I was gone, and he continued his tenure at BYU. Tej, what's your favorite Evan Troy memory?
Wow.
Easy, Tej.
I want to say just like on the basketball court.
Yes, please.
I have to say my favorite memory of Ev was breaking the record at LMU, the 3-point record. And
he broke it?
Yep, Ev broke it. I think it was 18
us.
at the time, hit the 18th three of the game.
Yeah.
I think that record has since been broken, but Ev,
by Alabama.
No, our own record, BYU, bro.
I know. I'm just kidding.
You're the worst, by the way.
Sorry.
But that was pretty sick. That was a fun game. I think, we were rolling at the time, and that game everyone was making shots, and Ev just capped it off and hit the big one to break the record.
I want to say we were at like 11 at halftime. We were like smoking the record and then kind of took the foot off the gas at the end. But as a walk-on, once you get in at the end of the game, it's green jersey. Just
Throw that
pull
thing up.
anything and everything you can.
Talk about that green jersey and the immunity you feel when you put that.
Tell everyone what a green jersey is.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So, yeah, as a walk-on, your main duty, I would say, is to be like the prep guy for the other team as like a week for prep. So, say we're playing Alabama, the way they shoot the ball, everybody would have a jersey color depending on how well they shoot it. For Alabama, everybody would have a green jersey because they can all shoot the lights out of the ball.
Sure.
So, being a guard, I mean, usually you're never anything below like a yellow, between green, red, and yellow. You're usually either green or yellow. Yellow would probably mean you're just more of a driver. Green, obviously, you're a shooter anytime, anywhere. But
really quickly, what would Eric be if you were his jersey?
Eric would be like an orange, probably. Maybe.
That's respect.
That's huge.
Yeah, somewhere between red and yellow.
Ooh, that bounce back, DJ.
He can just laser it in there. Then he goes up to a yellow.
He's got the Buzz Lightyear laser just straight to the rim. All right, continue. Sorry, green jersey. The power of the green jersey.
Yeah, power. So when you know that there's no repercussions, like you're not going to get yanked if you miss a shot or take a crazy one.
Pause.
Honestly, that the coaches are hoping that you miss, so they want you to take a crazy one. You just have the ultimate confidence in yourself, and so honestly, it kind of backfires on the coaches because it's like, okay, if nobody cares if I miss this, I'm just going to pull it. And if you have that type of confidence, it also helps a ton. I mean, that's something I struggled with when you actually get on the floor for real. Is like, I don't think people realize you have to like be a little like delusional maybe in yourself. Like I'm kind of a natural overthinker. So when I got on the court, I was like, TJ could shoot a better shot than this. Why am I shooting this right now? Jay could get a better shot. Yoli could get a better shot. When you're in practice, though, it's like, we're just out here hooping. Like there's no cameras, there's no lights, there's no crowd.
10 more reps right after this.
Yeah, it's just like you're just with your boys and you're just trying to tear their throat out in a fun way. But it's like it's just competition at that point. When you get out there, it's a different animal. Some people got it. Some people have it only on the defensive end. That was me.
Yeah. Did you have when you were scout team, especially early on, was there anyone that was like ultra fun to play? Like your guy Rem, who I was with a couple weekends ago, talked about. He's like, man, when we were scouting you guys, Nick Emery was like the most fun to be, right? It's just like just pull whenever you want, right? And to your point, the coaches want you to take crazy ones. So did you have anyone that you were supposed to be like that was a lot of fun?
Probably not even my best week of practice, but like just the most fun coming in. Anytime you can be like an NBA lottery guy, that's ideal. You're going to get the most shots. You're going to have like the most, focal point on you. So when we played Alabama at LIU Brooklyn in New York, like the week leading up to that, it was just Colin Sexton all week. And it was just like, go to the rim anytime you have the ball, shoot any pull-up that you want. Like
that's so fun.
Just be a dog. And it's so much fun because
get the crazy eyes on defense.
But then you're like, all right, get me back in there.
So a good like stretch where you're calling Sexton, you get 5 reps. If you go 3 for 5, it's like, all right, Ev's hooping today. You go 4 for 5, it's like blazing 5 is obviously unreal. How many average fans think they're getting 3 or 4 buckets versus what percentage of those people are actually even getting 1?
Regular people.
Regular people.
Yeah.
Twitter,
that's like the question of like, how many points would you average 40 minutes in an NBA game? It's like everybody's delusional until you get out on the floor, and then it's like, oh boy, these boys are all just like focusing only on me right now.
Yeah.
Is it at the beginning of the season or end of the season? Because end of the season, you just phone
beginning. Nobody everyone's trying to impress coach and get into the rotation.
Okay, so beginning of the year, everybody's trying to, and they don't ever call fouls. You will never get foul call.
Cody Feger is ref.
5%. 5% of a regular population could get 1 bucket.
Yeah, it's hard. It's super hard.
I feel like if you were a high school player, that's probably 5% of the population. high school hooper, you could get lucky and make one or have like a defensive breakdown where
for sure. And there's power in the green jersey. You just chuck it up and it goes in.
There's power in that thing.
Could you get one right now, Teach? In the shape you're in?
What?
No question.
2? What's the number?
7
out of 5. Nice.
Out of 5, bro.
Ev, how many are you getting out of 5? You get to be Colin Sexton. And how many is TJ getting? I'm getting. If you put me in the post, I'm going 5 for 5. Like
against who?
Anybody.
We're just talking here that we're all delusional, and so
no foul calls. Richard Harward is clamping you.
Yeah, obviously.
You're getting 2 hands right here in the back of your shoulder blade.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say reasonable foul call, like not foul calls, but like reasonable defense. Like you can hang on me a little bit, but like you can't punch me in the face. Of course. Yeah. If we said no foul calls, nobody's scoring anything.
It's street ball, bro.
Xavier might throw your shot to the 15th row right now.
Yeah,
that's a pathetic take. That's a pathetic take. I outweigh Xavier by probably 70 pounds. He is. I'm clearing him with one elbow.
Big shoulder. Shout out Chris Burgess, former
big shoulder, Chris Burgess,
recurring guest.
But yeah, like if you're playing me like high low or anything that I have to do anything but just like slowly back a guy down like a giant glob of mass, I'm going 0 for 5. But in the post, I probably get 3-4.
Honestly, one of my favorite weeks of scout, actually, like kind of as like a, I don't know, like a crazy basketball dude. It was fun. Was the year after we played Utah, TJ fouls out because they called 7 BS charges. I'm not gonna swear. They called just the most ridiculous charges you've ever seen. And so the next year, the focus was just like, all right, Evan, you're a GA. You're not even a practice player anymore. You're just a GA. Just get out there and see how many charges you can take. You'd be astonished at like how many times you can just flop and like get calls. So like it makes sense, but that was one of the funniest weeks because I was just falling all over the court.
You're just making everybody so mad.
Yeah, I know. You would have been enemy number 1, bro.
Oh, it was so funny.
So
I mean, think of like Alex. Like at that point, he was the focal point, and so I'm just trying to take every charge I can on him. Like anytime he has
like dribbles into a tiny bit.
And isn't it funny too, like how many mind games like coaches will play where they're like, yeah, none of those were charges, but we just want to piss off Alex and just see how he reacts, and like I did this, like we all did this, like you fall for it. Like you get so mad at your coaches for not calling fouls in practice when like they know it's a foul, right? But
it's more just to get the point across, right? Like it's like, just realize like these aren't real charges, obviously, but some of the ones in the last year they weren't real charges either. But they still got
Ryland Jones out there.
You just gotta be aware of it,
right? That was the Ryland Jones show, right? He took a bunch and like Jake like yelled at his dad on the bench or whatever. It's legendary.
Yeah, it was like you breathed on him and he fell over.
Speaking of being a GA, I know that was kind of wild under Pope's tutelage. What do you have any crazy stories from like the life of a GA? Like how crazy was your day to day? How busy were you? Was it just exhausting?
Yeah, I got a little bit lucky in terms of like the exhaustion part of it because it was COVID. So it was like nobody wanted to be in office because nobody wanted to get anybody sick because we were testing every day, spitting in the tubes or whatever before practice, and then the contact tracing and stuff. So that I got pretty lucky there. But the next year it ramped up quite a bit. Like it was like all summer, and then especially during the season, obviously you're there for like the late night meetings after games and stuff like that. Any crazy stories? I gotta like, I don't know. I got in trouble my first year. After a game, like coaches just kind of like they're trying to formulate how they're going to approach and like talk to the team after a win or a loss, right? And so like you got to kind of calculate how you're going to talk to them, especially like certain guys and stuff. And that happens in the off season too. Like you got to calculate how you want to like build this player up and like shape him into the mold of the person that you want him to be. And so we were throwing out some ideas. And at the time I was living with 3 players. I was living with Matt Harms, Alec Barcelo, and Brandon Averett. And so like I was kind of that in between of like a coach, but still like one of the boys. And so like I was trying to like be that role of like the connector between the coaches who are like the kind of these big scary guys that you don't necessarily like want to talk to all the time, and then the players that are just, trying to do their job and do their thing. So like I remember saying something to Alex of like, hey man, you got to like make sure you try to take a leadership role and stuff like that. And it got back to coach, and he felt like it was kind of like a breach of the trust, like the inner circle. Like obviously he's the head coach for a reason. He gets paid millions of dollars to like have these conversations with players to like build them up to be leaders. And I overstepped my bounds, obviously. I got called into his office. I was scared for my life. I got a good stern talking to like I've never got before. And luckily, you know, me and Coach Pope have a great relationship. Me and Coach Feger have a great relationship. And at the time, Bobby, the Dobo, we had a great relationship too. And so those guys like kind of all stood up for me, and they realized I could bring something to the table. It was just you kind of just have to take your licks as a GA. Like you got to do all the crappy stuff, and part of the crappy stuff is just getting yelled at 11 p.m. in his office and feeling like your life is over. But it is what it is. I don't know.
But that's really, really hard. Like you room with these guys, and you want to see them succeed. You're not trying to like take coach's job. You're trying to.
It's all like you're not a spy, but it's a little bit of that lifestyle where you're weird. Like you gotta like keep your ear to the pavement a little for the coaches and for the players, and like report back. Because at the end of the day, the coaches are the ones that like hold your life out on limbo. Like they can decide if you are blowing it up, like you're out, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah, I would have kicked you out if we were rooming together at that point.
For sure.
Be like, you got a wire, bro.
I'm not it's not like I'm snitching and being like, dude, Alex, he had 4 pieces of pizza for dinner last night. You better run his ass tonight. Like, I'm not like that, but it was like, okay, I got to report back maybe on how they're feeling about coach. Like, they didn't love that practice yesterday. Maybe we should, ease off a little, and then he'll take. I mean, it's my opinion, right? And so he could care less if he wants to, or he could care more.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, we promised you wouldn't be on here long. One last question. Give us a hot take going into next season, BYU basketball. Give us a 60-second hot take, and then we'll let you leave.
Okay.
What are not enough people talking about?
Listen to Chris Burgess's interview. They're trying for a top 4 seed. I think they finished the year top 5 in the country, nationally ranked.
Wow.
And we get a 2 seed in the West. Don't have to travel very much. We end up playing a familiar foe, Gonzaga, in the second round.
Oh my gosh, keep going.
Beat the brakes off of them. Shout out my boy Rem. Beat the brakes off of them. End up playing Arizona in the Sweet 16. Buzzer beater by AJ for the win. Rem starts crying on the bench. That's it.
Dude, if that happens, there will be some serious questions.
That's an all-timer. Like, that's some like
time-traveling
type stuff, okay?
No, I love that. Well, as promised, we'll get you out of here. Evan Troy, the man, thanks for being here. Thanks for your takes. Thanks for your service to Cougar Nation. We love you and we appreciate you. Now, go to your nephew's house. Don't leave until it says that we've uploaded everything. Just let us text you and tell you when it's done. Just don't worry about it.
What am I supposed to do here?
I'm going to kick you out, and then just don't close the window.
Right. I'm just going to leave the computer up. You do whatever you want.
That's
Thanks
beautiful.
for having me, boys.
We love you. We'll have you back. Now we got to fix this. It's just you and me. No, I like this one better. Yeah.
There we go.
Can we first of all, Ev did a great job.
Yeah, Ev's the man. He's a great dude.
I'm trying to see how we can man, why can't I see? Anyways, can we address one of these comments? I saw you see it. Were you looking at it? Are you looking at the comments?
Yeah, I see the comment.
Gage Bentley.
I'm sure Gage is just probably the most handsome guy ever. Has no issues in his life. He's the perfect guy.
Of all the people that look old, it's for sure me more than you. I got the hair, I got the hick hat, the beard. You did mention you needed to trim your beard.
Yeah, this is getting out of control. This isn't a great look for me right now. It's got to go.
Yeah, it might have to go. Well, what did you take? Let's wrap this up with what did you take on Evan's take? Let's hear that first.
His prediction there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing is like with any year you could have a hot take, that's like Final Four,
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that'd be so awesome. But like this year you can truly see it,
Yeah.
Like we have the pieces in place. So when he's like saying all those things, like, we're going to be the 2 seed, we're going to be finishing the top 5, all those things, like you can actually see that, which is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hear people talk about how we're built for the Final Four, but I just, it was just kind of cool to hear, like, just finishing high, right? And getting a great seed and like a really feasible path to the Final Four is the most important thing, right? Like you can reverse engineer this thing forever and ever and ever and say everything that needs to happen to get there. But that's a big one right there. Like you get a 2 seed and it's not like, oh, you're guaranteed, but the path is doable, right? Like you don't
Absolutely.
face potentially in Alabama in the Sweet 16, right? Because they've already been knocked out by some Cinderella, or in my opinion, Cinderellas don't exist. So they've been knocked out by somebody who's capable of knocking them out already. So yeah, I thought that was a good take. And again, just super excited to see how this team comes together. I've told you before, my biggest question mark is our size. Like Kaba makes up for not being 7'1" with his jumping ability and his wingspan, and you have AJ playing the 3 and he's a legit 6'10". We're looking at each other in the eyes.
Is he really?
Yes. Maybe
Wow.
6'10" and a half. Like it was kind of insane. But
wow.
Yeah, we kind of want like this big Van Komen or whatever his name was from Arizona, or Malawach, like just as like an anchor and some insurance, right? Honestly, you don't, in my opinion, need one until you come against one, right? Like, so that's the one thing that I'm interested to see. I'm
yeah,
sure
it's true. I mean, these coaches are unbelievable at just playing chess,
True.
It's like,
yeah, true.
You're going to do this, we're going to make you pay in this way, and vice versa. And so I think we'll have our advantages in some games, but like you said, yeah, if we go up against one that's like a Van Komen, we'll see our challenges for sure. But
right. But that's a very valid point. It's like, okay, they have a big guy, he's probably slower, he's probably in a drop coverage, so we're just gonna have a bunch of easy jump shots, floaters. AJ and Richie are gonna attack him at the rim, get him in foul trouble. Like, yeah, it is chess. It's not as simple as, well, we have everything that everyone else has. It's what do they have? What do they not have that we have? So it's a good point.
Right.
All right. Well, any final thoughts, Mr. TJ? You old dog.
I'm so old now, it's been oh man. No, I don't have any final thoughts. Appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah.
Supporting and listening. We love talking Cougar hoops, and we're excited to keep this thing going.
Yeah, we'll be here next week with Mark Durant at the same time, potentially Jerem Jordan. We'll go back to back, maybe have like 5 minutes of overlap, because that'll actually be a good time if we have both those dudes. So make sure you come hang out next week at 6:30 on Tuesday. And anything on social media, our clips on Instagram, on Twitter, or should I say X, on YouTube. Like, let us know what you liked, what you'd love to see, who you want on here. We've got a big list and we're going to get to them all, but if there's someone that keeps popping up, then we'll make sure we get to it sooner. So thanks for being here. Washed Up. Again, I'm Eric Mika. This is TJ Haws, and we'll see you next week.